How to build a successful scanning arrays focused factory in X4 Foundations? In order to be able to build this factory, you need already to have several module blueprints. In case you don't know what they are and how to obtain them, check top right corner suggested video. So, the list of required blueprints includes scanning array production, silicon wafer production, refined metal production, energy cell production, 1 per dock, 3M6S dock, container L storage, solid M storage, habitat L, habitat S. This factory requires ore and silicon raw materials in order to produce final results. For this reason, you have to use resource probes in order to find a sector that have them both. Plus, it must have the access to the superhighway in order to have a higher client's base. Scanning arrays using a lot of volume in cargo space. This is why you need to build starting from 1 per dock, allowing your station to sell to traders with large and extra large ships. Follows the 3M6S dock that do the same for small and medium-sized ships. Also, it hosts the manager's office that is required to keep the station functional. Time for the container L that will store the final products. At this point, you need the energy cells production in order to provide power to all the factory modules. Now is required a solid M storage for ore and silicon raw materials. Then follows the refined metal production and silicon wafer refineries. To conclude the basic version, it's time to place finally the scanning arrays production. At this point, just left to assign the builders that will do the work. Leave enough funds required to acquire the construction materials. Then confirm in order to approve the building plan. Now time to do something else, or just wait until the basic version is done. If you prefer to wait but want to speed up the in-game time, you can do it with a device called SETA. In case you don't have it yet and want to know more about, check top right corner suggested video. Remember that you must perform several core actions after some modules are built, and they are: once 3M6S dock done, to assign a manager to the station. After container L ready, to restrict the trading with other factions for silicon wafer and refined metals. Also, to do the same with ore and silicon once solid M container is built. Follows the completion of refineries, after which you need to assign 5 solid miners to the station. In case you need some help to acquire this ship, check top right corner suggested guide. After everything else is done, assign also 3 medium trading ships to the station as well. Time for the upgrade, but before you have to place an habitat L in order to start accumulating workforce for the final version. While the advanced version consists in 1 refined metal production and 5 scanning arrays productions. For the final version, the optimal workforce will allow you to add extra 2 scanning arrays productions. But in order to keep it efficient, you must accumulate 2190 workers. To make it possible, you need to add 1 extra habitat L and 1 habitat S. This is necessary to provide the shelter for every workers your station needs. If you have some problems following the steps in this guide, check the basic building tutorial suggested in top right corner. Also, in case you can afford to build another factory, consider to use the top right corner suggested playlist that has them all. Scanning arrays is usually mainly in some deployables and software for ships. Plus, it requires by some factories like drone components and turret components. From the profit perspective, it has a good demand, because deployables are easy to be destroyed. All the ships need proper software, and the NPC turret plus drone component factories due its high demand will for sure need your help as well for scanning array supplies. Says that time for some session calculation updated to the 2.0 patch. To notice that if any new patch will tweak against the prices, at the end of this video you will find a suggested video with new calculations. So, the basic version building cost over 5 millions, providing a production value over 1.2 million, characterized by 7,680 energy cells, 1,800 refined metals, 2,040 silicon wafers and 240 scanning arrays. Expenses will be covered by your miners for a raw materials value of 912,000. As a result, basic version refined profit is over 360,000. While the advanced version construction costs over 15 millions, providing a production for a value over 1.8 millions, characterized by 3,720 energy cells, 1,200 refined metals, 240 silicon wafers and 1,440 scanning arrays. Biggest part of raw profit comes from scanning arrays production. Expenses rises as well because of extra refined metal production that doubles the ore necessity. Raw materials covered by miners' work has a value of 1.2 millions. Means that the advanced refined profit is 626,000. To conclude the calculation, the final version building materials cost over 22 millions, providing a production for a value over 2.8 millions, characterized by 6,000 energy cells, 1,200 refined metals, 48 silicon wafers and 2,381 scanning arrays. Expenses rises in order to buy food and medical supply for the workers. This brings the expenses value over 1.3 millions. As a result, the final version refined profit is over 1.5 millions. Keep in mind that this is an average station that provide a good profit, and because of decent client base it keep hourly profit efficiently high. Anyway, obviously it's not the best, but a good one to build in order to diversify the income sources.